All right, thank you for joining me again. Today we're talking about the metaverse, or the metaverses, as there isn't just one. We've been kind of
It's just Facebook. Facebook owns it now. Just kidding.
Facebook just owns every metaverse. Man, so what is the defining factor of a metaverse? Because a lot of the way that it looks, I can't really differentiate it from a video game. Is this something only for gamers? Where the Facebook, as you mentioned, advertisement of metaverses makes it look like Ready Player One. It makes
hmm
it look like something very futuristic where we'll be just kind of living 8 hours a day or more with goggles on. Is that kind of that seems like rather closed off as far as what the definition of a metaverse would be? How would you say this is a metaverse and this isn't?
Um, I mean, I would say like the fundamental basics of a metaverse is kind of like a space that people can get together virtually. But in this case, kind of in the blockchain. So it's like a deeper integration of just like a regular virtual world, like the Second Life game or like Sims game, but it's kind of it's in the blockchain and things have like intrinsic, in this case like Ethereum value.
So yeah, like crypto monetary value
Yeah.
to everything in the
Yeah.
game, from even your own avatar. I take it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what is the value to somebody who's not there as a gamer? They're the people that are going to be there just to hang out, just like they did in Sims, Minecraft, all these other games. If I'm not a gamer,
Uh-huh.
what's the appeal? You know.
Um if you're not a gamer, what's the appeal?
Well,
I
see,
mean, whether so with metaverses, let's say if you're a landowner, you don't necessarily have to play anything or build anything on your land, which is a lot of the case of why people buy land. Not only it holds value, but you can build on it. Like, let's say if you have a project or something, you want to build a fun experience for your holders, you need land, but you can just rent it out,
and
and somebody else might want to build on it and to use it for their project. So, in terms of like for people who's not a gamer but looking to invest, there's still plenty of reasons. And a lot of times landowners also get whitelists for different other NFTs if you're interested in it. Because what happens is, let's say like this new big project is coming into our metaverse, and then you can get whitelists for your
mm,
holders, for landholders especially.
so is
Yeah.
that like I've seen that kind of with Sandbox, where not even necessarily for NFTs, but Adidas,
hmm
Atari,
It's
Snoop
so
Dogg, big
interesting
names.
to see Atari just out of nowhere buying on metaverse lands. It's like,
Last time we saw them, they were making 8-bit games, and here they are
yeah,
doing 8-bit again, but in the future.
it's crazy. And they had an airdrop. I forgot what it was. No, I think it was like actually mintable, and it was like this Christmas present for a while,
Mm.
and it opened up, and it's like this cool monitor. It's like dope 3D art with an actual like game in the monitor,
Okay,
like from
interesting. And you're
Atari.
playing it a game within a game kind of a thing.
I I don't think you can play it, but you can see like different games. Like
Okay.
that's the kind of like the attribute. But I just thought it was really cool.
So what's the investment opportunity for these companies? These companies are investing, they're buying land that's
Mm-hmm.
not cheap
It's
in
not.
in the Sandbox
Used
metaverse.
to be.
Yeah, at one point.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Definitely
What's
not.
the value to these companies? Is it just advertising? Is there more?
So the value to these companies, especially let's say Atari, um, I would say it's highly beneficial for them to buy land because then they can create their metaverse games. The Atari brand of metaverse games. And what a lot of people I think also forget, like if you've seen Ready Player One, there's like many portals to different worlds, right? But essentially your land can become another portal to, your world.
Wow.
And that could be a whole nother metaverse. It's just like world within world within worlds. I
Sure,
think that's
yeah.
what the metaverse is gonna be, which is really fascinating.
That is fascinating. So to Atari, it makes a lot of sense. Any kind of game dev that wants to get involved in metaverse makes a ton
Hmm.
of sense. But outside of gaming, we see, the biggest names on the sandbox map are Snoop Dogg and
Hmm.
Adidas.
Hmm.
What are they doing here? What is the benefit to them?
I mean, Snoop Dogg is definitely, shilling his brand,
Mm.
and
So it's mostly ads.
well, that and he provides also, music for his followers or his holders. Like they get airdrops. Um, I think they also got like Snoop Dogg avatars. They're worth decent. So basically, you buy, and Snoop Dogg also had his estate sale, so people could buy land on his estate also, and
Interesting.
and you got special benefits for that, like you get future airdrops and future NFTs, things like that, which will be worth something just because it's Snoop Dogg. We
Oh, of
love
course,
Snoop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huge fan base for Snoop Dogg, so he can make value out of anything that he puts his money into. He
Whatever
can.
happened to Snoop Lion though?
We'll never know. He's missing. Um, is it all digital? All the value? Is it all NFTs, NFT land? Is that the entire value that can be gained from the metaverse, or is there something in the real world that can be gained from activities in the metaverses?
Well, I would say, I mean, definitely yes. So Web3 is a deeper integration of kind of the internet, right? Um, but I think the ultimate point is to kind of bring it into real life, like bringing real life things, like a house, even a car,
Not a metaverse house, but a real world,
like
like
even
a
yeah.
house,
Like
right?
I actually imagine like the metaverse being like there's an Amazon store somewhere you can go and you can just search through the products that they have of ease. You know, you can actually visually see it. You can, move it around. It's just kind of like,
Interesting.
like Iron Man, and then throw it into your shop cart and buy, and then it comes to your house. It's just a more interactive way of Amazon.
It's the experience,
It's
really,
the
at that point.
experience, and people love experience.
That yeah, yeah, you can sit here and you can say, oh, I can just as easily get on the internet and do it in Web 2,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a lot to be said for experience, that we can't discount in general. While it might not be something that appeals to, I'll be honest, it doesn't appeal to me. The idea of going shopping in the metaverse
Mm-hmm.
versus just scrolling online doesn't appeal to me, but there are tons of people that it does appeal to.
I think the appeal is that everybody wants to escape.
Mm,
I think that's really the most fundamental appeal of the metaverse, is that you can kind of very effectively escape.
and that's not a foreign concept to anybody. Anybody who
And
goes to the
I mean,
movies.
just imagine like you can literally go to work in the metaverse, whatever it is. And everything that you do, like even if you just play games, if that's what you want to do, the tokens that you earn has real intrinsic value, well, in terms of cryptocurrency, right? And then you can swap it out for fiat if you wish to apply it that way, you know but and also just knowing that robot tech is getting better.
Mm,
So it's just, I feel like there's some good things about the metaverse. It's like, I think a lot of monotonous jobs could be taken over, by
oh
robots.
wow, you really seamlessly
Yeah.
transitioned into that.
Oh,
So
sorry.
what you're going for is the workforce is, or the jobs that need humans to
Mm-hmm.
work them are kind of vanishing at a really rapid pace. And what are all those people going to do?
Create.
And you're saying we can create jobs for those people in the metaverse online.
Yeah, but also a lot of people can also start creating
Oh,
themselves,
okay.
So they'll be moving from a monotonous, job to creating art or creating communities. I think that's just better.
Yeah, there's a lot to be. I mean, there's so much that we haven't even unpackaged yet
Yeah.
as far as opportunities for what can be done in the metaverse goes.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to unpackage what's available right now, which is limited. It's pretty limited what's available right now or what's been done. But as people get kind of creative, get resourceful with what can be, done in this Web3 space that can't be done in reality or in Web2 is really interesting. So let's talk about just right now. What are the, let's say I want to invest in some land. What are the different metaverses? Why would I want to buy land in each? We've got several right now. What are kind of some of the top tier metaverses right now?
I think one of the first ones I've heard about was Decentraland.
And that one's still a big deal, or is that kind of...
I think it is. But I heard there was a lot of like, how do you say it? My brain's blanking.
Scams or...
High maintenance.
Oh, see, it takes a lot
High
of...
maintenance. Game is high maintenance.
Okay.
You need a lot. And
a lot of money or effort?
Both.
Okay.
And time.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's Sandbox, which is kind of, where a lot of mainstream companies have bought land in. It's a little bit more Minecrafty, Atari's in there. A lot of Atari they have land everywhere in Sandbox. There's a bunch of red dots and some big dots.
Oh yeah, that's it for them. They saw the blocky look and they were like, "That's our game."
Man. And that one's already kind of popping off. They have their token sand, which is already going for a couple $.
Oh, interesting.
Lots of fun events.
And you can make sand in the Sandbox metaverse by
playing games.
By playing games, you can make sand, and each sand is worth a couple of $.
Yeah. But then there's also games like where there's a risk aspect to it, right?
Okay.
You pay a certain amount of sand to get in, and if you, get out of it, you get amount of tokens, but if you lose it.
Okay, so it's kind of like
so there's a bit of but if you're good at the game,
somebody has to lose for you to earn money.
It's literally like Ready Player One. Like if you're good at the game,
then
like you're rich.
You're made, yeah.
And the thing is, that's the appeal with really, I think, the next generation. If I know the youngins that want a dope PC so they can play games and stream at the same time, they want to make money playing games. That's what everybody really wants to do. And Metaverse is kind of like, it's like that integration between that crypto financial world and this, creative fun game world.
Yeah. So like even if you aren't literally making money playing a video game as we're talking about now, even if you're working for Amazon or whoever wants to sell something in this space, it's almost like gaming, but you're doing regular normal jobs. It's just like a salesman or something like that, but you're in a virtual space. That's really interesting. What else is out there? I've heard a lot about NFT Worlds as kind of NFT people are kind of talking about it like it's something revolutionary. What's revolutionary about it?
I think so. So there's like other really hyped, metaverses too, because like big projects like even Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're coming up with their own, the other side, and Llamaverse, they're coming up with their Llamascape, and it's all dope. NFT Worlds is kind of like, in my opinion, a bit set aside as definitely probably going to be one of the bigger metaverses, and the reason being is just because it's built on the Minecraft engine.
Oh, geez.
So when it's integratable with, PC, Xbox, PS5, and from my understanding is that it can be as simple as connecting your Minecraft account with a wallet address, and then you just get on. And so NFT Worlds, if you buy a land there and you decide to build whatever experience that people pay you world tokens for or whatever, you have like 170 million Minecraft players worldwide that could just join. And so the integration is so fluid, you know?
All they need is a wallet, and that's free.
Yeah.
You can go get a MetaMask wallet for free.
And like imagine just like, hey, you play this experience or you play this game, you play this Mario Kart in whatever, you make world tokens, and world tokens you can just trade it for Ethereum.
Where does that money come from? Like, they're playing games. I mean, some of them are gambling games. Some of them I assume aren't. So where does the money originate? I can't just make a game and then pay somebody to play it. I'd be losing money.
So NFT Worlds has like 10,000 plots individually. Okay. And they also release or airdrop world tokens to their holders, to the holders that staked their NFT Worlds. For a certain period of time and also incrementally. So there's also a capped kind of amount of tokens. So if the utility of the token in this world is to, you know, buy and sell or, you know, use this token as utility for whatever you do, basically whichever experience is best and people flock more to is going to have more NFT world tokens. And also, I think the intrinsic value kind of comes from all that secondary trades, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they have some complicated algorithm.
Right, yeah. All the ways that these things are working is like, maybe it makes sense to us. Maybe it's
and they'll probably make adjustments down the line.
Yep. Yeah. So like, if I was looking into game development, I could go and I could buy a plot of land and I could develop a video game on that plot of land.
Yes.
And then I could charge people to play it.
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly.
Oh man. And then they're just depositing crypto into my wallet in order to play my game.
Yeah.
That's a huge workaround as far as the current kind of way of getting games to people, having to go through something like Steam.
The house always wins.
Oh man. So there is a chunk that's being taken by NFT Worlds in order to have, so any charge that I make on NFT Worlds, there's going to be a portion of it that's going to the server.
Sure.
Okay.
There's gotta be.
Yeah, because they got to have a way to pay their stakers,
to keep
their holders.
Moving around.
Interesting.
It's got to be a whole economy, you know.
What does it take to build one of these 3D worlds? I mean, it looks like these guys just kind of grabbed Minecraft and built on top of it. They have some sort of partnership with with Microsoft, or do we not know?
I don't think there's any partnership.
That's crazy.
I don't think it's necessary.
That's insane. That's insane that you can just build a world that you're making just loads of money selling pieces of without
maybe okay.
I mean, we don't know.
I could be totally wrong.
Sure.
Maybe they have a deal. But yeah.
That's not how
it's based on Minecraft engine, and you can build whatever you want through, you know, Minecraft creative mode, and the thing is, like, Minecraft is just such a familiar game
for generations.
Yeah.
It's not one generation. Like, I was playing it as a kid, 20 years ago.
I feel like it'll be such a nice, like, nostalgic metaverse for people to meet in. I've invested in one. It's called White Sands.
Okay.
And they have accumulation of 36 NFT worlds together.
Oh, 36 plots of the NFT world land.
Yeah. And if you hold a parcel, you also get a cut of NFT worlds, as the world tokens as well.
Oh, so
from all the staked 36.
They're generating tokens, NFT worlds tokens, from owning the land and staking it.
Yeah, 36 of them.
And then they're redistributing that to the holders of White Sands. Mm-hmm. Wow. So it's getting owner of an owner. Okay, got it. Cool.
Yeah, but like NFT worlds alone, like 1 out of 10,000 is like 10, 12 ETH, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Already? So it's pretty expensive. But the thing about, like, the reason why I invested in this one is that their idea is Oasis, kind of, from Ready Player One.
Yeah.
it's kind of this like center point of NFT worlds. It's a luxury island. They're building like bunch of like entertainment stuff. They have hired 5 like real life architects to build this out.
Oh wow! So they
Like,
really want the immersion
yeah, I don't think it's
aspect.
like Minecraft architects. I think they're like legit architects, like building stadiums in the game,
That's
stuff like
crazy.
that.
No like floating platforms and islands and stuff like that.
Yeah, and recently, a little bit of gossip, I think, but
We love gossip here.
yeah,
Dish.
there's a decently well known dev team called Stellar Devs, and I think they did a lot of back end work for NFT Worlds and
Oh, okay.
um built NFT Worlds for different projects, things like that. So decently well known, and I think they also had or was going to have a contract with Skuxverse, which is another metaverse within NFT Worlds.
Oh, okay.
But basically, White Sands they got a like full exclusive contract and really kicked everyone out.
How big is that team
It was
of
like
devs?
50 people plus devs. And so they're saying that they're going to give like 20 plus experiences a month.
Okay, so you're saying that there is a metaverse called NFT Worlds built on the Minecraft server. Within that server, there's 10,000 pieces of land. 30 of those pieces of land have been purchased by White
36.
Sands. 36 have been purchased by White Sands.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hired a team of developers to develop the Minecraft land and 5 architects.
Mm-hmm. So there's like a blueprint of like the main island, and there's like some big villas on the sides, and then in the middle there's like this huge entertainment center. Like you see words for like floating shops. So they essentially they want to make this like this beautiful beachy like a luxury island where, you know, concerts are happening, things like that.
Dang.
Yeah, and Minecraft is just so familiar. Like they have everything.
sure, yeah.
They have planes too. But the real benefit for a holder of the parcel pass or a piece of land is, imagine that as a project as a whole, they're investing millions of dollars, you know, in buying land and to getting contract with developers and developing this main island to build experiences, to build games, to get the ecosystem running, right? And as a landowner within that, you can kind of build your own experience also because you have land within that land. So
you could have a portal going off to
Yeah,
God
so-
knows where.
yeah, so we can go straight to the main island from our portal, from our own land, but we can also have something else on our land.
Is there a benefit to going straight to your land from the portal? It's just a more direct route or what?
I'm guessing just that, like, if the main island becomes like a traffic, you know, packed, you know, with experiences, like there's advertisements going on, like come here,
Okay.
you know, we
so-
got this, like, you know, we're thinking like it's packed with people, you know, but
And that's-
basically you can pull from. Basically you can pull from that traffic. And from, you know, they can pay you world tokens to do your experience too.
So it's like advertising on a blockbuster movie instead of an indie movie. If you have this land versus another land in the same space.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Even
So-
though it could be a smaller piece of land, and maybe, you know, you can only build within certain parameters, but still, just because the amount of development is going on, you might get a lot more traffic, you know.
Dang. So let's talk for a second about the future.
Mhm.
Things that don't exist right now for Metaverse that you expect to see in the next, let's go really far. Let's go 10 years. I know that's a really long time for crypto and NFT time. What are kind of the experiences you expect to see or the things you expect to be able to do within a Metaverse?
If we're not living with sticks and stones.
If the world hasn't come to an end and the entire society collapsed, what do you expect to be able to do within the metaverse? Yeah. Is it kind of like very open-ended question? Is like you could end up doing anything, right? You could be making your living playing video games or making your living.
Scary.
It is.
It's frightening.
I entirely agree. It is frightening, because
I'm
of how much
legit,
change
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
It's so, I feel like it's gonna be so different from the way that is right now.
You talked previously about education shifting over. But let's take it kind of a darker way. What about drug traffic? That kind of thing. Is this going to be something that's difficult to regulate, or do you see regulation coming? And if so, how hard is it going to be to do these kinds of illegal activities in a space where you don't know where the borders are? You don't know which laws apply.
Drug trafficking because of cryptocurrency or because of metaverse?
In the metaverse, I imagine. It's already being done with crypto.
Yeah.
It's already happening.
But they don't need to do it through the metaverse.
Okay, there's no benefit to.
Yeah, because that's just like putting yourself out in the open.
So is your identity going to be connected to your in metaverse identity, or do you think it's going to be more anonymous?
You can remain anonymous, but still, within the metaverse, there are going to be other regulations, right? It's, every metaverse has their own, rule. There's mods, I imagine 10 years from now, I'll be a bad boy in some Discord channel and I'll see, a mod fucking open up the skies and fall, with a hammer and go boom and banned,
Oh my god.
That's how I imagine
I would love to see that. I would pay to see that.
Hopefully I'm the one flying down because that'd be fun.
So you really expect these servers to be self-regulatory and have their own rules and laws and have those be respected and not worked around? Do you expect, because it's private, that it'll be more efficient than like governmental regulation, or do you expect it to be less efficient and then easier to buy your way out? I'm
pretty sure there, of course, will be governmental regulations, but in a broader tense. They say don't do this, and then it is each metaverse's job to how to apply that.
So the onus will be on them to enforce whatever regulations the government puts on them.
Because there's going to be so many different types of metaverses. There could be purely educational ones. Who knows? That's also possible, and that's actually kind of cool.
That's very cool. No, absolutely.
Like a university, right? Like a metaverse university. And the thing is, this type of integration feels like a bit of a double-edged sword for me. Reason being is internet has connected the world very, very well.
Seamlessly.
And it has done a lot of good. But it also, I feel like, made a lot of people lonely. Just because people got so used to human interaction through online communication. I think I saw this quick segment of Elon Musk saying how we're already cyborgs and our cell phone is an extension, of us, which is true. And our phones do make us smarter. I can just Google shit, basically this access of information. But, and in that aspect, it could do us a lot of good because there's a lot of information out there that is readily available. And it'll get people connected a little bit and with more, interactable things within the metaverse. You can learn a lot. I don't know. It's imagine a science class in VR. And you're hanging out with your friends and you can interact with planets. You can open it and close it, literally Iron Man stuff. you
Yeah.
know. And for kids, there's a lot of benefits to learning like that. But then also, um, like real human interaction, you also can't, yeah, you can't forget about that.
Yeah, I agree. There is the kind of to re reword the upside and downside.
Mm-hmm.
Downside being that there isn't that real human interaction,
Mm-hmm.
but upside, especially for education, things like how is the school paid for? By property taxes, and I'm stuck taking my
Mm,
kid to a certain school.
mm.
Class size being a huge issue. The amount of focus
Yeah.
that can be dedicated to each student can be wildly increased, and teachers in a specific area
Yeah.
won't be an issue anymore. You could have one teacher teaching 18,000
Yeah.
students, and you could
One
have,
amazing teacher,
yeah,
right? Like the best, in the world.
and everybody can have access to that via this technology. That's insane.
Yeah.
That if you want to become an expert in something, that somebody else who's an expert in
Mm-hmm.
that thing can go in the metaverse and
Mm-hmm.
can teach an infinite number of people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There's a lot of benefits, and obviously there's gonna have to be censorship, which is always, where the government comes in. And for reason of censorship, they will always come in.
Right.
Some bad stuff happens, and okay, we're here, guys. But then they also place a lot of, deep roots into a decentralized finance system, which inevitably will become centralized, in my opinion. And I think that is how it will become the future of currency. It's the only way. As much as, like, us freedom boys want to say it's decentralized, but it's just for how long?
Yeah.
And like, how long can you say that?
Absolutely.
KYC is already here.
Yep. If you were to take like somebody who's thinking about getting into this and saying like, I could either get into this now or I could get into it when it becomes a big deal in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest benefit of starting now instead of in 5 years?
Ooh, I mean, the benefit is that it's way cheaper now.
Cheaper to get in for sure.
Just imagine that up until this point, up until recently, that Bitcoin and Ethereum could be mined, of certain ease,
Mhm.
right? And it's
Yeah.
getting harder and harder, of course, till the end. I think it was like 7 or 5% Bitcoin left, and it's gonna take another 40 years or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It was something ridiculous.
To get the last little bit.
Yeah, a little bit left. And with that, crypto has seen growth that's just insane, right?
Yeah.
And this year, like, we're at that level of difficulty of mining. Like, just imagine.
It's almost becoming not worth it. Less and less people can do it full time.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you think that the same thing is going to apply to the metaverse? That the longer it goes, the harder it's going to be to get into because of that price barrier.
Well, I think there's going to be other metaverses born, just because of that price barrier, obviously. There's always like that. So I would almost, it's so hard to imagine.
Yep.
But the fact that we're so early,
Yep.
like the NFTs or avatars or land that we hold now, like in 5 years could be like God tier. Because if Ethereum goes to like 20K, like, even 100K in a couple years, like, you're going to have to, even Polygon will be at like couple $100.
Sure.
It's just like,
yeah, it could be God tier in a couple of years, or it could be that some other new metaverse came out with a new technology and just completely outdid it. So there is a gamble there, right?
Too. But I have seen like people migrating to whole new networks too.
Sure.
So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a death of something.
That makes sense.
But man, sometimes some really weird shit. Sometimes I feel like I keep getting same dreams sometimes of worlds.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you about this?
No, I've not heard. I mean, a little bit, but not very.
But
deep.
sometimes, I mean, I kind of thought that was like kind of like my inner palace, whatever. But like I can almost map out the whole region, like different sections. But then it's also kind of how I imagine the metaverse to be. Like sometimes I want tranquility, and I picture this valley, you know, with a huge lake in the middle. It's just one of the places.
Now you're gonna have to go build that. You're gonna have to go build what you saw in your dream.
That would be sick.
Just the capacity to do that.
Yeah, and you
insane.
can.
You could just go sit, you build it, and then go sit on a boat in that lake. That's pretty nuts.
And like, I mean, I am an Elon fanboy, so I do have a lot of Elon quotes.
Of course.
But at a certain point, like 5 or 10 years, with how good graphics has become, it could almost become like almost indistinguishable. It's possible. You know, with maybe more quantum technology, you know, faster CPU, you know, tech, blah, 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 super nano, nerdy nerd, blah, blah, blah stuff, you know. But it's very possible that it could become like ridiculously real.
That's crazy. That's, the stuff movies are made out of.
And that freaks me the fuck out. You know, it's like I am so excited for it, but also, man, that's some freaky shit.
Excited and scared and don't want to be left behind. All kind of put together, you know.
It's a whole lot of mix of emotions.
For sure.
Because what a generation to be alive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like for this kind of thing to be possible. Like we're building a world on the internet.
We're building several worlds on the internet.
It's not
multiple,
like, you know, tangible necessarily.
Right, yep.
It's so strange. It's just data.
Yep.
It's just massive, massive amounts of data. Blows my fucking mind. And to come from a generation, like I remember my dad. Dude, I had a Game Boy emulator and Pokemon Yellow on a floppy disk.
Oh my goodness, on a
That's like a few disk.
Kilobytes. Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And come to this, and we have a terabyte in
like in a flash drive space. Yeah.
Like maybe like 3 rice. I'm Asian. Thinking rice.
It's a measurement. That's a measurement of volume. Is rice for sure.
But it's nuts. Like I don't think I'm like super old, but
you are.
But in a span of like 2 decades, what is possible in 10 years? That freaks me out.
Definitely.
Who the knows?
We're on the cusp of what's to come, and there's a certain revolutions that happen every once in a while, and it's always best to it's not always easy to tell what they are, but if you can predict it, it's always best to be on the cutting edge, and hopefully that's where we're at right now. Man, we're gonna end it there. This has been a really amazing conversation. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. We'll catch you all next time.
Have a good one, guys.